Hello guys, how you been doing? I hope you guys are well. And today I will be sharing and talking with you guys about something that has happened in the past. Actually, not in the past because I was thinking about this today, and yeah, I decided to share with you a little bit of it, and I hope it speaks to your heart. If you're with your Bible next to you and if you like to get it, please feel comfortable to do it. We're gonna read on Proverbs chapter 4, verses 23 and 25. It says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it is the source of life." And verse 25 says, "Let your eyes look forward. Fix your gaze straight ahead." What these verses have to do with what I was passing through. Basically, I was with my life kind of messed up. When you have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to accomplish, a lot of to-dos to accomplish, but you kind of don't know where to start. And my life was kind of like that, this week. It was kind of a messy and rushed week. And I knew I have a lot of things to do. I didn't knew where to get started. And I started kind of comparing myself to the reality I was in. I don't know if you can relate or you can understand what I'm saying. I started kind of feeling pity for myself. And the Lord started speaking to my heart during my devotional time, considering the fact that I wasn't doing anything to get the problem solved. I wasn't doing anything to really do what I needed to do. I was just complaining and just comparing myself to other people. And, that kind of brought my heart into a place of darkness. And what the Lord started to talk to me was that, Amy, look at what you have now. Look of what I've already put in your hands. Kind of stop being ungrateful. Stop feeling pity for yourself and do what you know you should do. And that's what I decided to do. I took off today to get things done. I organized my house, I organized my life. I prayed about it. And man, it felt so much lighter, and that's what I had to share with you. That's what I want to do. Not feel guilty or do not feel pity for yourself. Put on your armor and go to war. Do what the Lord has already told you to do. Like I was comparing myself to tomorrow, like worrying about, what am I going to do tomorrow? What was going to happen? What will I do with the situation? But I wasn't even doing what the Lord has asked me and put in my heart for me to do today, and that is why I decided to start reading on this chapter of Proverbs, because the writer is going to tell us for us to guard our hearts. And when we start feeling pity for ourselves, when we start kind of complaining for what we do not have, when we try to fulfill our hearts, trying to find contentment in any other thing that isn't Jesus, we're not gonna guard our hearts. Our hearts won't be guarded. Our hearts will be exposed to the vanity and to what God doesn't want us to be exposed. And the way that we can find to guard our hearts, it's really walking according to the will of God. It's really walking and doing what He has already put in our hearts to do. Doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter how we feel about it. We just need to do it, And the second verse I read relates to this, because I like when the writer says, "Let your eyes look forward." Girl, do not be looking at the left or at the right of people's lives. Do not be distracted by that. Fix your eyes on Jesus. Fix your eyes on what God has already told you to do. And I would like also to read on another chapter of Proverbs, which is chapter 31. First of all, the 25 says, "Strength and honor are her clothing, and she can laugh at the time to come." 13, "She selects wool and flax and works with willing hands. She makes her own bed coverings. Her clothing is fine linen and purple." What this passage talks to me, speaks into my heart, is that in the first verse, actually in the second one that I read in verse 13, says that the woman, the capable wife, the virtuous woman, she selects, woo, and flex. And this word, like selects, shows us that she is really engaged in what she's doing. She's being careful in what she's doing. And then further in the verse 22, it shows us that her bed coverings is made of fine linen and purple. Both of them are fabrics. So we can see that the decision that she did from picking and selecting wool and flax that are fabrics may have led her to make her own bed coverings made from tissues. Her clothing is made from fabrics. And for me that is so important because her decision of doing so guided her and kind of prepared her to be able to do her own clothing or to do her own bed covering, if you understand what I'm saying. And the verse 25 says that strength and honor are her clothing. She laughs at the time to come. This shows us that the virtuous woman doesn't fear the future. She doesn't spend time worrying about what will come today, but she does what it's needed to be done today, And so many times we get distracted by worrying and by being anxious about the time to come. And man, we should only rely and trust God. We should only trust what He told us and do what He put in our hearts to do today and walk according to His will and walk in obedience to Him. So that's what Jesus spoke into my heart today. And then I really kind of woke up, like, what am I not doing what He put in my heart to do? What am I complaining? What am I, looking at other things that aren't His? Why am I looking at things that it isn't the Lord's will for me to do it? I hope you may be edified by this content. And if you find yourself as I was, kind of distracted and not focusing on what really God's put in your heart to do, surrender that before the Lord, pray, and I believe He will give you strength to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. And if this video encouraged you in some way, spoken to your heart, share it and send it to someone else. And that's it for today. See you on the next content.